Today, we're going to share a recording from our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Consulting Success channel on YouTube. I'll now turn it over to Michael.
In this video, I'm going to share with you how to start a successful consulting business this year, and one thing that most people don't consider but can actually make the difference between whether you struggle or whether you succeed in this business. All right, so the first thing that is really important to keep in mind when you are looking at starting your consulting business is to take an inventory of the problems that you have the most experience and expertise solving. Really, this comes down to where have you created the most value, right? Where do you have the most experience in terms of whether it's industry, type of work, what kind of problems have you solved that have created value for the organizations and people that you've worked with. Then on the second side, so imagine two columns, one being the problems, the next column over would be results, right? So as you've had the experience of solving problems, likely complex problems, right? Challenging problems, that's created value. Well, what specific results, what outcome, right? What value has been created by solving those specific problems? This is really critical to identify, because as you start thinking about becoming a consultant and talking to people about the type of work that you're going to do, you want to be able to elaborate and communicate what those problems are, because those are likely problems that your ideal clients and those that you will work with are currently having. And not only the problems that you solve, but also how things will be different, how things will be better for the organizations and people that you work with as a result of the work that you do with them. So that's the inventory of problems and results. The next step in this process is to spend some time really thinking about who do you want to work with, right? Who is your ideal client? When you become a consultant and start thinking about actually running a consulting business, you have amazing levels of freedom and flexibility, right? When you get into business, one of the most beautiful things of being in business is that you get to create what you want. Of course, there are rules that people might say apply in certain situations, and of course, you need to be always legal and transparent and honest and things of that nature. Let's just put that stuff to the side for a moment. Not that it's not important, but just because that's, of course, right? Like that just makes sense. So what I'm really talking about here is that you get to craft your business. You get to mold it. You get to structure it in a way that works for you, right? There are certain steps that are proven to work, right, that tend to deliver consistent results for somebody building a consulting business. And we've seen this with literally thousands of consultants that we've worked with over the years at Consulting Success. Everything I'm sharing with you right now, in fact, it's not theoretical, it's not academic, right? This is stuff that is tested in the trenches. It's based on building consulting businesses for over 20 years that we've personally been involved with. And for the last 14 years, again, working with and helping thousands of consultants to create their own successful consulting businesses. So I say all that because I really believe that creating and starting, running, growing a business can provide you with tremendous amounts of freedom and flexibility and success. And so a big part of that is for you to think about who do you really want to work with, right? In a poll that we took at Consulting Success, we found that the most common reasons for people to become consultants, to venture out, to leave an organization, to leave the quote unquote, and I say quote because this is not always the case, but the quote unquote stability, right, of a full-time job. And you see through layoffs and things of that nature that it's not always as stable as you think. But the point is that the poll showed that people leave their jobs because they want more freedom and flexibility. They want to be their own boss. They want to have unlimited income earning potential. They also want to be able to make a greater impact. And that comes down to who you work with and the kind of work that you do. So don't skip over this, right? You really give thought to who are you best suited to work with? Who can you create the most value for? Who do you believe has really challenging problems that they are looking for or most likely to need the kind of expertise and experience that you have? And so defining who that ideal client is, typically by industry or by the type of person, meaning maybe it is a CFO, a CEO, a chief marketing officer, right? So on and so forth. That's the kind of thought process you want to go through. In a recent study at Consulting Success, we had about 800 people take part in this study, and 50% of them said that their first client was actually a previous employer. Now that means that it could be from their current job that they've just left, or maybe from an organization they worked with even several years ago. But the reason I'm sharing this with you is because it's really important that you embrace, you adopt the mindset and the behavior of really finding ways to add value for the relationships that you have, cultivating them, strengthening them, and not burning any bridges. Even if you're going to be leaving an organization, again, 50% of the time, people are finding that those previous employers actually become clients for them. And even if somebody doesn't become a client of yours, there's a really good chance that they know people that could benefit from your expertise, and they have the experience of working with you, so they can speak highly of you. Therefore, you can generate some really great referrals. And this actually transitions us into the next part of this process, which is what we call network reactivation. This is one of the first things that we go over with all of our clients that come into our Clarity Coaching program, because it tends to be the low-hanging fruit. When I run and host the Consulting Success podcast, I have the opportunity to ask very successful consultants, how do you build your business? How do you get your first, not only your first client, but your first 2, 3, 4 clients? And I can tell you that the vast majority of people say that their initial clients come through their network. And so the step here, what we teach inside of our Clarity Coaching program, we actually give our clients scripts and templates of proven language and approaches that work for this. But what I'd encourage you to think about around network reactivation is to take an inventory of everyone that you know. And even before you leave your current job, if you're currently working or maybe you've already left, make sure that you let everyone know what you're going to do. And an important part of this, and the reason why, as part of these steps in this process, I mentioned getting really clear about what problems you solve and the results and outcomes that you create, and who your ideal client most likely should be, and that you can really help. The reason I mention that is because as part of your network reactivation, you now have the opportunity to let people know who you're looking to work with, right? Who you can serve and add the most value for, the kinds of problems that you can solve, and the kind of outcomes and results and benefits that you create by solving those problems. And so as you share that with your network, there's a good chance, if done properly, that you will either start to have people letting you know, yes, actually I'd love to, now that you're moving into consulting, I'd love to actually have a conversation with you about how you could help us. Or they might say that they know someone that you should talk to. So network reactivation is the next step in that process. There's 2 general paths that consultants take when they look to start their own business. The first is what is described as all in, and the second is slide in. All in is where you decide, I'm done with working for an organization, I want to become a consultant, I want to start my business, and you go all in, right? For some people, that doesn't work, and they decide to go the slide-in method, where they continue working at their job, they continue receiving an income, and on the side, they start taking on a client or 2 to build up their income to a level where they feel comfortable and confident to then go all in into their consulting business. Now, that slide-in option sounds really appealing. Why wouldn't everybody do that? And it's because for many people, they know that they need to feel more motivated. They really require a stronger reason, a push that if I don't make this work, it's not going to be good. And so that kind of incentive, right, that encouragement in their mind of, I have to make this work, is what actually gets them to take the action that creates results for them even faster. And so if you look at who tends to see results faster, the all-in or the slide-in, it's almost always the people that are all in that see results faster. But that doesn't mean that you can't be successful with a slide-in approach. We actually have clients in our programs that we work with who use both approaches. And I would encourage you to think about what is right for you. If you have dependents, if you maybe don't have much cash in the bank right now that you feel comfortable going a few months, right, without income, then the slide-in method is probably one that might be better for you. If you're in a position where you're okay for a little bit, and you really feel that the all-in approach would benefit you, then likely you should go all in. And I should make a quick disclaimer here. This is not financial or legal advice, right? I don't know your specific situation right now. If you'd like to reach out and have a conversation with our team at Consulting Success, we're always happy to hear from you, and we'll be very open and letting you know what we think could most benefit you and your business, and how to help you get the results that you're looking for, and how you can get a custom plan to really grow your business. But really, these are things that I would encourage you to think about. There's no right or wrong way. Figure out what path is the right one for you. As part of creating, starting, growing a consulting business, and really like any business at all, it's important that you understand that there are ups and downs. Those that understand this are better prepared, because without a question, right, without a doubt, you will find yourself in a situation where you're kind of, you hit a wall, or you feel this big obstacle, a roadblock. You feel challenged. You might feel something's hitting your self-esteem. You're knocking down your confidence. You didn't get the result that you want. You're wondering, is this really the right thing for me? That's natural. That's normal. That is what some people describe as that entrepreneurial roller coaster. It doesn't matter how long you've been in business. There will always be challenges that you face. There will always be problems. And typically the bigger and more successful you become, income, the problems can also become bigger, in the same way. However, the freedom, the flexibility, the unlimited income earning potential, the benefits of being able to work with those that you truly enjoy and making a massive impact, in my mind, in my experience, far outweigh the downsides or the momentary kind of setbacks. But I'm sharing this with you because when you understand that it's completely normal to be in a position where things aren't always going the way that you want, or you're not seeing results as quickly as you want, or you just, again, feel like your confidence is getting kind of rattled at times. When you understand that, when you're prepared for that, when you know that it's normal, it's not going to set you back. Generally, in my observation and experience, and again, working with thousands of clients over the years, that it allows you to get back up and to keep moving forward. And that is really what will help you to be successful rather than to struggle. All right, the next thing that we should talk about is pricing. If you are newer to launching your consulting business, what you're going to find is that many people in the consulting world will talk about things like value, ROI, right? Project-based pricing, retainers. There's many different ways to set up your pricing. As an early stage consultant, what most people kind of default to or begin with is hourly fees. And if you spend any time at all in the world of consultingsuccess.com, you've likely heard and you probably know that we are not big fans of hourly fees. Why? Because you're essentially just trading your time for dollars. And so if you want to grow your business, it means you have to work more. And you'll get to a certain point with that model where it's really challenging to get to the next level of income, to really scale, to benefit from leverage if you're just trading time for dollars. The other reason why we're not big fans of it is because there's a real misalignment, right, between the result or the benefit that the client has and that the consultant also has when you're using an hourly fee model. If you can deliver results faster to your client, right, that's actually of greater value to your client because they get the benefits of that sooner. Yet with the hourly fee model, you actually get paid less. You get compensated less for creating more value. And so we're big believers that you should use a pricing model that allows you to create a real significant win and deliver massive value for your clients, but for you to also participate with a fair level of compensation, right, relative to the value that you are creating. Now, with all of that put out there, I will say that if you're early stage as a consultant, hourly fees are not, they're not terrible. And here's why. When you're getting started, you don't necessarily know how long something takes. You don't know how good you are in delivering certain areas of work. You don't maybe know how long a certain process will take, a stage, right, of your consulting engagement. And so if you go in with a project fee early on and you find that something takes you a lot longer, or maybe you need to bring in a contractor to help you and you're paying them a set fee that you've agreed to on an hourly basis, but you've arranged a project-based fee with the client, you may find yourself in a situation where you're not even making any money or maybe even losing money on a project. And so for an initial, couple of projects, there's absolutely nothing wrong with using an hourly fee just to start to get an idea. If you don't want to use hourly fees right off the gate, right from the start, then make sure that you look at increasing your fees beyond what you think something will take, because usually at the beginning it takes longer than you expect. Again, not financial advice because I don't know your specific situation, but this is generally what we found to work very, very well over a couple of decades of building consulting businesses. Next, let's talk about marketing, because marketing is one of the most important aspects of running and growing a successful consulting business. When you become a consultant, if you are working through an agency or somebody else is kind of giving you, work and they're taking probably a good portion of your fee and what you could be earning from them, then you could just do the work. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you truly want to build a consulting business, what we describe as an entrepreneurial consultant, then not only are you going to be delivering work and doing a great job for your clients, but you also need to make sure that you're running a business, right? Creating an asset, creating long-term sustainability. And that's ultimately where you get to have the leverage, the freedom, the flexibility, the unlimited income earning potential, all the great stuff that consulting provides. Truly that becomes possible when you run a consulting business and not only do consulting. And so here you want to look at that, of course, you're going to do great work for your clients, but consulting is not only about consulting. Consulting is about relationships, right? Building great relationships with people. But part of the relationship building process is marketing. And marketing is not doing something to somebody, it's doing something for somebody, right? Great marketing is all about creating more visibility for you so that people in the marketplace know what you do. And if you're doing marketing the right way, the way that we teach at Consulting Success and where we see such great levels of success with clients over the years by doing it, marketing is about giving value, right? It's about educating, it's about helping your ideal clients sharing insights and data and ideas, and done right with the right kind of marketing system, that can produce tremendous results. You can be a very skilled consultant. You can be amazing at what you do, but if you aren't marketing, if you aren't getting out into the marketplace, if you're not focusing on having conversations and making sure that the market knows that you exist and that you have that skill set and that you have that expertise and that experience, then you won't have clients. And if you don't have clients, you're not generating revenue and profit. And if you don't have that, you don't have a business. So the consulting business is a marketing-based business. The consulting business is a relationship-based business. Don't forget that, because if you take your eye off of that and only think about doing work, you're going to miss the opportunity to actually build a real business. Now, at the start of the video, I mentioned there's one thing that most people getting into the consulting business don't pay attention to enough early on, yet it really can be the difference between struggling and being successful in this business. And that is your why, right? Simon Sinek talks about the power of why, understanding your why, and I'm a big believer in that. Not just at a high level, not just at the idea of it, but we've seen this over and over again play out to the benefit of our clients when they're clear on their why. And so here's how to think about it. I was going to say here's why the why is so important, but no real pun intended there. But here's kind of how to think about it. As a consultant, right, as any business owner, you are again going to run into challenges. You're going to have ups and downs. There's going to be things that you know you need to do, but maybe you're going to hesitate to do. For example, picking up the phone and calling somebody, sending an email, doing a follow-up, going and giving a talk, writing an article, whatever it is, asking for a price increase. There's going to be things that you know that you need to do, but you likely will hesitate to do them because of fear, right? Because your mindset is focusing on the wrong things. And so by getting clear about your why, by being able to write that down and coming back to it at those points where you feel a little bit of challenge, where you feel a bit of stress, where you're not sure, when you're not taking the action that you know that you need to be taking, and looking at that why, it's going to help you to move forward. It's going to help you to take that step. And I'll give you a quick example. We have a client who left a very significant, high-paying, six-figure corporate job and became a consultant. Fast forward, she's doing great, but she's not doing her marketing at the level that she knows that she should, right? She's not doing the follow-up, she's not doing the outreach, she's not doing those important pieces. And so I asked her, what's going on? I said, well, I know I need to be doing it, but I don't really enjoy it. I don't want to bother people. So she had all these reasons, and I said, well, tell me again, what's your why? Like, why do you leave that high-paying corporate job to become a consultant? And she said, well, because I want to spend more time with my young kids. That was her why, right? More freedom, more flexibility, more time with young children. Now, everyone's why might be different. For you, it might be traveling the world, spending time with elderly parents, just being able to support maybe different charities or communities or whatever it is. That's up to you, right? It's your why. But when she got clear on that, when I checked in with her the next week, she was back doing her marketing. I said, well, what was the difference? She said, yeah, every time that I now find myself hesitating to do something that I know that I need to be doing, I just really think about my kids. And that's enough. That's all I need to take that action. So get clear on your why. Why is this so important to you? Why do you truly want to be successful with this? And when you have that, it can make a tremendous difference. All right, so we've covered a lot. Everything from the importance of getting clear on the problems and the results, your ideal client, network reactivation, not burning bridges, focusing on those relationships and cultivating them. We talked about the two different paths of all in versus slide in, the ups and downs that you will likely face, as well as the pricing and focusing on value and how to think about hourly fees. We talked about marketing, and we talked about your why. Now, we can go into a lot more detail on all of these, and these are ideas. If you want actual scripts, templates, a system, and a proven step-by-step plan customized for your specific situation, head over to consultingsuccess.com. Click on the coaching button, get in touch, and we'll be happy to jump on a call with you and talk about how we might be able to help you to accelerate your goals and make sure that you're not making the common mistakes that people make when they go off and try and figure it out themselves. But if you'd like to just continue educating yourself, then go deeper into our YouTube channel. We have all kinds of videos on marketing, on pricing, on client engagements, on other aspects that are critical to help you to build your consulting business. So somewhere on this video here, you can likely click to see another video in our channel. Be sure to subscribe, and that way you'll get notified when we launch new videos, which is something that we're now doing on a regular basis.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this, you'll love all the free resources, case studies, and best practices at consultingsuccess.com. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a rating and review on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. Thank you so much.